and welcome to another edition of Fort Riley, the podcast. I'm Colleen McGee with your Fort Riley Public Affairs Office. As we enter Memorial Day weekend, we thought it a good time to reflect on how the annual observance began and to respectfully reflect on those who gave their lives in service to this nation. Like many holidays, early versions of Memorial Day started in various towns, big and small, all over the country. They started with tributes to the fallen being made as spring flowers began to bloom. Originally intended to honor Union soldiers who lost their lives in the Civil War, friends, family, and neighbors would gather the best of the spring blooms and decorate the graves of the fallen. Because of the floral tribute, the commemoration became known as Decoration Day. There are several stories of where the first Decoration Day happened. In fact, about 25 different places have been named as having a part in the first commemorative events in 1866. Decoration Day would later lead to our modern version called Memorial Day. After World War I, the day was expanded to include all Americans who died in war. Fast forward again to 1971, where Congress declared Memorial Day a federal holiday. So thank you to those who went before us, to those who gave their lives during wars because those sacrifices were not in vain. It is because of them that we can hold our families close this holiday. We hope you take time over the long weekend and reflect on those who gave their lives to save our way of life. Here to give you his thoughts on Memorial Day is Colonel Michael Foote, the U.S. Army Garrison Fort Riley Commander.
Hello, Fort Riley. I just want to take a minute to talk about Memorial Day and Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day is the time for us to remember the fallen, those that have given the ultimate sacrifice for our nation and for our freedoms. Two things that I would ask of you this weekend. One is if you know any Gold Star families, reach out to them and tell them thank you. They still feel the pain more than any of the rest of us of the sacrifice of their loved one. Also reach out to any old Army buddies or service member buddies that you haven't talked to in a long time just to check in on them and catch up. I also want to talk about how to display the flag on Memorial Day. At sunrise, it should be set to half staff, and then at noon, it should be raised to the top of the pole in honor of the sacrifice that the fallen have given to the nation. So, as we go into this weekend, stay safe, take care of each other, and enjoy the freedoms that we all share today.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Fort Riley, the podcast.